Hello, hello, hello. I am Chelsea.
And I'm Sammy, and this is Deepish. Hi, you guys.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast,
Deepish.
Deepish. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Sorry, I'm just getting my water. I'm thirsty.
She's a thirsty girl out here.
Yeah. I'm good. How are you? How's your week been?
Good. We just got back from a trip, which was fun.
Yeah, was that good bonding and just relaxing?
Yeah, we just went on a road trip to go see Hayden's mom in Mesquite and my dad in Vegas.
You're such a romanticizer of road trips in general. You love a road snack, like a road trip snack, a deep chat, a good playlist.
Oh, road trips are my favorite.
So did it live up to that? Good chats with Hayden.
Yes. Sunday night, we decided last minute to come home. We were going to come home Monday, but we came home Sunday and we left at like 9 p.m. So we got home so late, but it was the best because I was just going to stay awake with Hayden and I just turned on a country playlist and we just got deep about life for like 5 hours straight.
Wait, first of all, does he like country?
Yes.
Oh, lucky Brandon. I even go to my preset of a country station. He's immediately in a bad mood.
Really?
It makes him in a very bad mood. Second, is there anything better than a late night road trip? Where it's dark, there's no one on the road, the music's soft, and you have him trapped in the car to get deep, where it's just the perfect storm.
The conversations that you have are like nothing else. It's crazy. But that's the thing too, is he was like, if we didn't have to work tomorrow, I would always drive this time. That's so underrated, is leaving at night, especially I'm sure when you have kids, because they'll just sleep.
Oh, it's the best. We were in St. George this summer and we left at nighttime and they just slept the whole way. And obviously we got home so late, but then the next day we had a whole extra day to recoup versus driving in the morning and then getting there in the afternoon, and then you only have the evening to recoup for your next day.
And in general, I just feel like you should give yourself, after any vacation, one recoup day.
You have to.
Because I didn't do that this time and I was dying.
No, that's the worst, especially if you go on a long trip. What's strange is you definitely need a break from your vacation once you get home.
To just do your laundry, unpack, take a nap, because I don't feel like I relaxed. I was at families' houses and things, but I wasn't sitting down watching TV, unwinding, recharging. So when I got home, I just felt so exhausted.
I know, and most trips are like that. Unless you're literally going to Cancun and sitting on the beach for a week, you're going. Me and Brandon, our 10-year anniversary is in September. And so we want to do Europe. And I'm so excited. It'll be amazing. But also, I know it's going to be exhausting because we're going to 5 different places. We want to see everything and it's going to be a whole thing. And so we were talking about it because my brother-in-law is actually in Puerto Rico right now selling. And so we're like, he's there. Why don't we go see him in Puerto Rico for a few days? And then we can go over to the DR and do all-inclusive resort and just chill. And I'm tempted because I'm in such desperate need of a literal life vacation to relax. And I want to do Europe, but I know I'll be like, we need to go to like 50 museums. I need to see every set. I need to do all the things. And that seems kind of exhausting right now.
I know. I feel like I'm going to hit my later chapter in life and become a world traveler. And my kids will be grown and I'll be so down for that. And that will consume my life. But right now, all I want to do is just sit on a beach in Mexico and do nothing. Because that's what I was telling Hayden too. I'm like, there is a difference between a trip and a vacation.
Wow. Yeah.
We take so many trips where it's like, oh, we're going to fly to California for the Utah game. And then we're going to stop here and see this and do one beach day or whatever. But that's a trip to me.
Yep.
All these little mini road trips. A vacation is like, I don't know what time it is. I have time to take a nap. I have time to read a physical book. And we don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We don't know what we did yesterday. And we have 5 more days of just uninterrupted unwind time.
That is the best thing you have ever said. That is so, so true.
It's on my mind all the time because people are like, oh, how was your trip? Do you feel so recharged after this vacation? I'm like, no, it was a trip. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm literally exhausted. But then you look back on it in a few weeks and you're like, I'm so glad I went. It was so fun.
It's memories. It's fun. It's just not recharging.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
And right now, we're at this crossroads. For our 10-year, do we go have a vacation or do we go on an epic trip? And I don't know. I'm torn right now.
I feel like you could do both though.
We will eventually do both, but this year it's either...
couldn't you combine the two? You could do an epic vacation, but still, it wouldn't be to the extent of 5 days straight of laying on the beach, but you could do Amalfi Coast and do an actual beach in Europe.
I know.
Or why don't you guys go to Greece and just have the most romantic Greek vacation.
I know. I definitely want to go to Greece, but I think
September, that's going to be here quick. You guys better start planning.
I know we have to plan, but the big like key factor is my brother-in-law's in Puerto Rico right now.
I know, but do you guys really, why would you want to go see him in Puerto Rico on your anniversary trip?
Yeah.
That could be a separate.
Yeah.
And one.
Yeah, it could be an and one or a little weekend. We need to plan something because it is coming up close and I need to execute because Brandon is so down to go on any trip or any vacation, but he's not dying to travel. It's not like I need to see the world. But when he's there, he's like, I love this. I want to see everything. I want to go to the museums. But it's not like I'm going to sit down and plan this trip. So it's really on me to be like, okay, let me plan. But also, I'm in this stage of life right now where I'm like, I want to relax.
That's the thing is right now you're so overstimulated, so overwhelmed where you're like, I can't freaking plan a vacation. I don't want to think about directions in Ireland and how to get to this pub or whatever. I just want to go lay on a beach in Mexico and not think about anything, not leave the resort.
Doesn't it just sound amazing right now? We went to Mexico, all-inclusive resort. We took the boys and we just chilled.
And by we, she means us. And by the boys, she means her husband.
Yeah. And it was amazing.
For our 30th.
Yes. And just the huge spa. And we would just lay in those hot tub things with the beds and just...
That resort was amazing. The trip was amazing. But it includes one of my biggest regrets in life, which was taking that freaking promo meeting.
Because they always lock you and they're like, oh, you'll get $100 credit.
Which, was I poor at the time? I'm confused why I would agree to that.
I know.
Because it was literally like, you'll get a free massage at the spa if you sit through this pitch of timeshares.
Yeah, and we were there for hours, it felt like. And then at the end, you kind of are gaslit into being like, you know what? Maybe I do want to come back. Like, maybe this is like, a good price.
Maybe I do have $200,000 and I can invite family and we could just come back here all the time.
And then we're VIPs and then they take you to all the timeshare bungalows and you're like, you know what?
This is actually pretty nice.
And it was just me and you who went. I don't even think Brandon and Hayden went.
No, what was so annoying is because we're at breakfast and you didn't come to breakfast.
Okay.
It was me, Brandon, and Hayden. But the sales pitch started at breakfast and you're like, I'm going to meet them there or whatever. Because you were sick, because you were pregnant, but you didn't tell me that whole trip. We went on a trip to Mexico and she was pregnant and she didn't tell me.
And there's the cutest picture of us. We're on the beach and we're just talking. And Brandon was up on the balcony somewhere and he saw us and took a picture. And I was like, that would have been the perfect moment. Like a best friend just on the beach in Mexico.
I don't know how you resisted telling me. And then what's so funny is looking back, how did I not know you were MIA half the time?
So sick.
And I was like, oh, she's sick, but doo-doo.
I still will never get over that smell. Yeah. There's a smell of the resort. I don't know, any trip you go on, sometimes you just come home smelling like the hotel or like the resort.
Chlorine or the soap they use or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was the soap and the products. And so my suitcase and everything smelled like that. But when I went, I had washed all my clothes and I used to use laundry beads. So it was laundry beads mixed with the hotel. I get home and I had to chuck the laundry beads. And even to this day, I smell those and it reminds me of the hotel. And I'm like, it grosses me out. So the pitch started at breakfast.
Oh, yeah. So the pitch started at breakfast and the sales guy finds me and Hayden and we just sat down for breakfast. And he's like, can I eat with you guys? So we have a whole entire breakfast with him.
No.
And then he's like, come back to my office. So then we sit through a whole pitch with him. And then they take us into a separate room where all the pitch people are there.
It's a very like torture.
And you meet with a high up guy. Remember that young guy that was like, okay, I'm going to shoot it to you straight. I could give you 40,000 off if you sign right now. Just whatever. And that's the point where you're like, could I do this? Should I do this? Do I want to buy a house or should I have a timeshare in Cancun? And then they gave us the tour. And then it was like, get me out of here. We wasted 5 hours of like beach time doing this pitch. We should have just paid for our massages.
We should have paid for our massages. That's the bottom line. Always just fork over. And you spend thousands of dollars going and then $100 seems like
and that's the lesson I've learned over time. And I thought I had learned it at that point. But when you're there, just win in Rome. Don't check your credit card statement. Just live it up. Calories don't count. Money doesn't count. Who cares?
But wasn't it just amazing? All the restaurants. And is there anything better than a beachside drink? No. They're just like, here's your pina colada. And salsa. Oh, chips and salsa.
That's all I ever want in life.
I'm dreaming. Yeah, I think we're going to do the DR. All-inclusive resort. I think I just decided.
That's what you guys should do. And if you want to go see Hafid, you can.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, if you're like, oh, we should go to Puerto Rico and just stay with them, that's a fun thing to do. But it's your 10th anniversary.
Yeah, no, if we did see them, it's a stop. Because I think it's only an hour to the DR from Puerto Rico. So we could fly into Puerto Rico, see them for a night, see my cute niece.
Yeah.
And then we'd go over for like 5 nights or something in the DR.
Amazing.
So,
yes, you have to.
We'll see. Okay, but what shows have you been watching lately?
Oh my gosh, there is so much on TV right now.
I know.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Because I'm feeling overwhelmed. So many shows are coming out this week.
Wait, what shows?
Oh, I have a whole list. I
Okay.
literally made a whole list
Yeah,
because I was
tell
feeling
me.
so overwhelmed.
I feel like there was a little lull. There's been like
There was a
smidge.
huge lull.
No, because Last of Us came out, Hacks, there was a few good ones, but now those have died down. And so the last few weeks, it's taken a beat and it's
Yep.
like, what's next?
Yeah, no. First of all, Love Island started yesterday for all who celebrate.
So we're going to talk
Basically
about that
national
lots
holiday.
on the podcast. But they can't top last season. That's the thing.
I know, they'll try, but still, me and Hayden are not picky when it comes to Love Island. We love it. And just the sound of the do-do-do-do.
Did you watch last night?
Oh, yes. Did you?
No, I got home so
Yeah,
late.
which is fine because you'll have a few episodes to bank. But in the first few episodes, you're always like, these people aren't cute. This show sucks.
Is there
like
anyone promising?
a couple of people.
Is there a Rob?
But that's
like
the thing
a hot
is like
Rob?
I remember last season thinking there's no cute girls. None of these people are driving, and it was the best season. So it really ends up because the first episode they're just twerking like my name's Shelly and I'm blah blah blah, you know, and you don't really get to know them. And so the first episode's whatever. So yeah, Love Island. Have you watched Sirens yet?
No, I want to. Is it good? Have you watched it?
I just started the first episode, and so far so good.
Okay, I love her.
Yeah, I love her.
Because she was in that movie Drop. Did you watch that?
No,
It was so good. It's with that hot guy, Atlas from It Ends With Us.
I want to watch it. What's that movie about?
It's so good. Basically, she's on a first date with Brandon Schaefer, and she has her phone, and someone's airdropping her things like, you need to kill your date, or else I'm going to kill your son. And so then they hack into her home thing and the babysitter and the son, and she sees her son, and someone's in there and is going to kill her son if she doesn't kill her date.
Oh my gosh, I'm watching that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Love that. Also, did you watch Ginny and Georgia?
Yeah, I watched it. Is the new season coming out?
Yeah, finally, after like 2 years.
Okay, no, like 3 years, I swear.
It's been so long.
Here's what's so upsetting to me, especially with these Netflix shows or The Summer I Turned Pretty, all this stuff. You're giving us 10 episodes every 3 years. And it's not
Step
good
it
enough
up.
quality to justify. Where we were getting 24 episodes of One Tree Hill for like 9 years.
Yeah. True.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with that. There was something going on because that one took so long. I remember once every 6 months Googling because it left on the biggest cliffhanger.
Yes, that she gets arrested. I saw funny things where the little brother, it's like, whoa, bro, aged in 2 minutes and he's now as tall as freaking Ginny.
I'm sure. I can't wait.
But
that
I don't
comes out on
remember
Thursday.
anything, so I kind of want to rewatch
Yeah.
like, the last few episodes.
Rewatch. Do it. Tires. Did you watch the first season of Tires? That also comes out on Thursday.
No, Brandon
Shane
watched
Gillis.
it. Did you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, me and Hayden love it. It's funny. Have you watched The Better Sister with Jessica Biel?
No, see, these are
Yeah.
okay. So I
So
need to
that's
watch
on
that.
Amazon.
I want to watch Sirens in that.
9 Perfect Strangers season 2.
I watched the first season.
I watched the first season, but I can't really remember any of it,
I
which kind of
remember-
says a lot.
You know who's in it? Our favorite show, Lucy.
Oh,
and Steven.
Tell Me Lies.
Yeah, Tell Me Lies. The main girl, she was in season 1 of 9 Perfect Strangers. That was her big break or whatever.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Did you watch The Last of Us?
No, not into it.
It's so good. Season 1 was subpar. Season 2, I'm not going to give any spoilers.
I know the spoilers, the
Should
plot
we-
twist. We
just for
won't
people
say.
that haven't
But I'll say
watched.
that people at my work, that's all they talk about is the game and the betrayal and the whatever.
Oh, it's so.
I feel like that would have been fun to watch. But is it a lot of zombies and stuff?
Yeah, it's very action based. But
Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, it's very good though.
Carry
Season
on.
1, and also Pedro Pascal. He is daddy. He is the definition of daddy. I love him. I'm obsessed. Biggest crush. There's a new movie coming out with Dakota Johnson, him, and Chris Evans. It's a new rom-com.
Yeah, I've seen that. But did you watch Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman?
No.
And
Who? Pedro was in that?
Mhm. He's her husband in it.
Oh, no.
But I don't feel like you'll like that movie.
Oh, I will not like that movie. You called me after you saw it, and I was like, it's just not my vibe. But you saw it with Sam.
Yeah, so it was a funny joke, but it's definitely
Not my
Yeah.
vibe.
okay. What about Your Friends and Neighbors? Has John Hamm in it?
It's on Apple.
I think so.
I haven't watched it.
But basically, he lives in a super wealthy community, gets divorced, loses his job, and then he starts robbing his neighbors' houses to survive.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
My in-laws told me about it, and we haven't watched it yet, but it sounds good. What about The Pit?
I started The Pit and I love it.
I've heard really good things about that. That's on Max.
So good.
about an ER, and every episode's an hour in the
Yeah, it's
ER.
kind of like 24. Did you ever watch that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's only one shift. So I think it's 12 episodes. So the main guy in it, he was on ER, like the original doctor show with George Clooney and stuff. And he's one of the main doctors on ER when he was 20 or something.
Okay.
He is one of the executive producers of The Pitt, and he wanted it to be a reboot of ER. And he was going to come back as his character from ER.
Okay.
But they couldn't get the rights.
Dang.
So then he and the creator decided to do this concept of The Pitt, and every doctor and nurse that watch it say it's the most accurate medical show.
That's what I've heard. See, this is why I wanted to talk about shows with you, because
I know.
you know the stuff.
I
you know all the stuff.
all the things.
Also, Polyfamily on TLC. Have you heard of it? Have you seen it?
Okay, first of all, you saying TLC, I only watch TLC when I'm in a hotel.
I understand, but then you get hooked on shows like Plathville or
Yes.
Sister Wives, and then you love it.
Or like My Gypsy
Yeah.
Wedding.
I'm a sucker for TLC shows.
But do you watch them at home?
Yeah, me and Hayden watch Sister Wives every single week. There was Seeking Brother Husband and Seeking Sister Wife. So basically a couple will be like, hey, we're looking to add a third, and they'll go on dates with these people. It's so funny. And so they are dating these different girls, join them into their family. One of them's pregnant, whatever. It's just so
You know
interesting.
what? I had this weird thought the other day. You can just do whatever you want in life. It's weird. Obviously, sometimes you get caught and there's illegal things and whatever, but isn't it crazy that humans can just freaking do whatever they want? It feels like these random shows are these inviting thirds in, or this, or how you raise your kids and all your views on things. It feels like, are we sure we want to give people this amount of agency? I don't like what people are doing with their agency.
I know. That's what I love so much about TLC, is because you can watch so many different people live such different lives. And it's so entertaining because it's just so different. What if we were in that situation? Or
There was one that was dating a mama's boy or whatever. There's so many interesting.
they find these weird niches,
Yes.
and then they make a show out of it,
and that's
which I love.
TLC. That should be their slogan.
Oh my gosh. So there's a show on TLC called Bailin' Out Loud.
Okay.
And it's basically this show about this girl who has Tourette's.
Okay, yes.
You've probably seen videos of her.
because I think I saw her on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where she has Tourette's and she says most inappropriate things. Just be like,
Boobs.
suck my balls in the middle of a grocery store. And I have to tell you the story. There was a day that I was taking a nap in my bedroom, and Hayden was out. He was watching a soccer game or something, and he was on his phone. And it was one of those naps, like a Saturday afternoon. I woke up and I was just like, where am I? But I wake up and I hear Hayden's phone. He's watching something on his phone. And it's literally like, bend over and suck that cock, like yelling. And I think he watched like 2 or 3 times because I guess he was dying because his friend sent it to him. And he thought it was so funny. But literally, I sit up in my bed and my heart sinks. I'm like, oh my gosh, Hayden is in the other room watching some dirty porn or something. And my life is flashing before my eyes because Hayden is not like that at all. Does not partake in that. And oh my gosh, I was dying. So then I'm like, what do I do? So then I get up and walk in there and I'm just heart pounding, like, what is going on? And I was like, what are you watching? And he's like, oh my gosh, this girl shows me his phone. He's like, she has Tourette's, and he plays it for me. And it's just literally like, suck a big cock. And it literally sounds like some nasty porn.
That is literally hilarious.
Yeah, but we watched one episode of that show and it was kind of funny, but gets old after a while, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
the new TLC one, what is this one
the
about?
Poly Family is just basically about 2 swinging couples who met each other, and the husband dates both wives and the wife dates both husbands. And then the guys have gotten the girls pregnant, and so they have a bunch of kids, but they don't know who's the dad. And they don't want to know because they're a big family unit.
See, this is what I'm saying with the agency. It's just crazy that you can do whatever.
Did you watch Simple Favor too?
I started it and was like, this is boring.
Really?
Did you watch it?
I've heard it's good and I haven't watched it. Blake Lively's ruined for me, so it's hard.
Yeah, I just can't. And her and Taylor, what do you think about all of that?
Can you believe that?
I need to know what's happening behind the scenes of their friendship. So basically, Taylor Swift is getting roped into all of Blake Lively's drama with the It Ends With Us movie. It was her lawyer requested Taylor to back Blake publicly, and Taylor was like,
She
no.
got subpoenaed to come to court.
She was saying, hey, you need to back Blake, and she was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then the lawyer threatened, okay, then Blake's going to release 10 years of text messages between you guys.
So she was like, I'm not going to come and speak on your behalf, be subpoenaed. And then Taylor Swift's lawyer, I think it was her dad actually, threatened it.
She's still subpoenaed. Does she have to go to
No,
court?
she got out of it.
She did.
So whatever Taylor Swift did on her side, she freaking shut Blake up and got out of it and has nothing to do with it.
But that speaks volumes, where it's like your best friend is supposedly being sexually assaulted and you don't even have her on your side.
Well, and if she's not cooperating, not willing to go to court or whatever, because she doesn't want to get involved in the drama because she's a huge public figure, you're going to be like, fine, then I'm going to release 10 years of text messages. Oh, it makes me hate her.
I know. I feel like that was her best friend.
Yeah, it's sad, but I feel like she's been burned so many times that
She's used to it. Did you see Selena and Taylor were at dinner the other night? And Taylor's like, oh, she's telling her a secret. I'm like, I would give anything to be a freaking fork on that table.
literally.
And I would just be like, hello.
Wait, did her and her guy break up, Selena? Are they not engaged anymore?
Why do you say that?
I thought I heard that. I don't know.
I haven't heard anything, and I do not think
So they
that.
love each other. What's his name again?
Benny Blanco. Yeah, I love him.
Benny Blanco. Yeah, no, I feel like they're cute.
Yeah. And
Also, Taylor owning all her masters now. That was big news.
Gosh, but I do feel sad about Rep. But do you think she loves Joe still?
No, I don't think she loves Joe still, but I do think there's a chance that that record was too hard to re-record.
I've seen so many funny memes about it, where it's like she's like singing and she's like, oh, like I have your name, I want your name tattooed around my neck or whatever it is.
Initial on a chain on my neck, chain on my neck.
Yeah, and then she's trying to sing it, and then she's like, Travis, get my wallet. Just cannot do it.
Yeah.
And even in her statement, she was like, I'm just not feeling motivated to do this. I think he just did her so dirty. It still hurts. I don't think she's necessarily in love with Joe anymore, but I think he destroyed her. It's a deep, deep wound. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, but then she can release a song called So Long London and LOML, you know.
But Rep is for Joe. It's like Joe.
I wouldn't say Rap is for Joe. I think all the love songs on it are about him. But Reputation, I even forget there's love songs on it for me.
Because it's like
it's so much different about just her angsty
Kim
and that was
Kardashian.
that whole, and not even that. That was her whole comeback after the whole world hated her. Reputation. That's why Swifties die hard over Reputation, and why I went to her freaking concert 4 times, because the OGs were there before it, and then she wasn't seen in public for years, and all of the things that happened, the whole world hated her. And then she arose from the ashes and came out with this banger, and it was everything. And so I feel like, yes, she was happy with Joe, fell in love while she was hibernating away from the world. But for me, it's
so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Then why would you have zero passion to re-record? Why are you having such a hard time?
I loved what she said in the letter about really feeling like she didn't need to fix any of it. It was perfect the first time. It would be hard to reproduce the actual passion that she had during that time, because there were so many feelings. She was falling in love. She was standing up for herself, emerging from the shit show that just happened to her. Karma on freaking Kanye and Kim, all of the things. She went through a huge friendship breakup with all of those girls. It was a huge pivotal time in her life, and I just feel like the emotions of trying to re-record that and capture the same thing. I agree. I'm fine with her not redoing it. The part I'm sad about is it not having its own moment of re-emerging and the debut or
I feel like
the vault
she'll
track. Yeah.
And then maybe that'll give it the boost it deserves. Do you think she's going to release debut?
Yeah, I bet you she will, but I don't think it will be as big of a thing as 1989 TV or any of that. Also, it makes me sad because it's like when your birthday comes and you think that your husband or your friend's planning a surprise party, and you get back from dinner and he's like, so should we watch a show or something? And you're like, oh, so this is it. This is the plan for my birthday. You weren't secretly working on something behind the scenes. That's exactly that feeling I feel right now. Is like,
and
we've been clowning for nothing.
Yeah, because
I thought
she's wearing a 26 on the back of her sequin jumpsuit, or she did the thing for Handmaid's Tale. That's another show.
Oh yeah,
but we've been so hyper fixated on so many tiny little details when she hadn't even recorded it.
That's what's frustrating. Is it's like, oh, there's no
master
all these Easter
plan.
eggs don't mean anything, and there's no, because with us loving Reputation so much, we were the most excited for Rap TV, the most anticipated it. So we're like, oh, she's gonna do the most epic thing, and it's gonna be this giant thing, and she's gonna save it for the last day of her tour, or she's gonna do this big reveal on the anniversary that she went MIA on Instagram. All of these things that she could have done, and for it to be like, oh, actually I haven't been doing anything.
And I'm sure she feels a lot of that pressure. She sees everyone's
she does
theories, and I'm
the fact has to even address it. I know what about Rap TV. This is my honest truth. it kind of is like, okay, we can relax now. But even then, people are still like,
But
the T's capitalized and the blah, blah, blah in this letter, thinking that she's duping us, which I hope she is.
I know what I wish as a fan in that moment. I just wish you would have been like, I have my master's. This is amazing. Says her piece about rep and then drops the vault tracks that day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give you guys something.
See, that actually would have been great. Yeah. And I hope that here's the rest of the vault tracks. Debut and vault tracks are now available, whatever. But now we can listen to all of Taylor Swift's music without guilt.
I am so happy for her.
Guilt-free.
I feel like she has been through the ringer. And honestly,
Yeah.
the last few years, she's been on her highest highs, falling in love, literally being the world's icon for years. We could do a whole episode on just her, which we should. But also, it's probably a lot of added pressure and a friendship breakup and just all these really intense things. So I'm sure it's a lot for her as well. So I want her to just go back to hibernation a little bit, recover, and
Have her alone time.
yeah, fall in
But
love,
like
have a
maybe
baby.
like write an album.
Do you feel?
while you're
1,000%. You know she is. She's like writing. She's always writing. Do you think she'll have her own babies, or do you think she'll get a surrogate?
I think she'll have her own.
Really?
Do you think she'll get a surrogate?
Kind of. I feel like maybe she'll have one and then she'll want more and then get a surrogate. Okay, but I want to hear more about your week. So how...
Oh yeah, so it was great. Last week we just left out of town, literally the day that I found out about my IUI. So
how did your IUI go?
yeah, my IUI didn't work. So if you're listening to this, you probably already knew that, but my IUI didn't work, and so we are moving forward with IVF.
How are you feeling about the IUI failing and having to start IVF?
IUI failing, it was hard, especially because I don't think I shared this on the podcast. Maybe I did. About my calculated due date was going to be on my mom's birthday, which I felt like was a sign that it was going to work out and that she was sending me this baby and whatever. Because for the exact day that your period has to be and everything for your due date to reflect that, literally there's only one day out of the year that you could have that be your due date. So it's, I don't know. The whole thing had me tripping because I was just like, oh my gosh. And then when it doesn't work out, I'm just like, okay, cool. So literally there's no afterlife.
Literally nothing.
Like nothing matters. Bye. So I just had a good, cried, was super sad. The thing though is when I saw that negative test, I wasn't shocked. I'm just like, yep, checks out. So
was it the most devastating negative?
no, I think I low-key was walls up. I was manifesting at first, but I don't know. It's so hard because I hate this so much. Me and Hayden were talking about this on our drive. He's like, you kind of have to manifest things. And I hate the whole manifesting thing because it's gaslighting yourself into thinking that good things happen when they just don't. And that sounds so sad. But if I would have manifested that, and that's the thing is like, even in the back of my mind, because I just was like, Sammy, like, no, it's not just this easy. It's not just going to work out for you. You're not just going to get pregnant. You're not going to be one of the lucky ones who gets it. But then even me saying that, it's like, well, you need to change your attitude and you need to manifest and you need to be more positive. But I just knew it wasn't going to.
I know you get so many of these sick confirmations of it not working out. But then when things do work out, I think sometimes so many small things work out or so many positive things, just the gratitude aspect of it where you're just like, yeah. But I feel like once
that becomes baseline normal average.
Yeah. So I'm curious once you see that positive, what that feeling will be.
It's funny because when I was editing our car episode, because by the time we released that, I knew my IUI didn't work out, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, if this works out, I will feel so lucky. I don't know even how that feeling would feel because I would just be like, oh my gosh, all is forgiven. It worked out, so we're good. I think I'll feel that way a little bit where I think I'll have so much gratitude. I'm going to feel so lucky to get pregnant. I think I'll still have a little bit of bitterness about this journey, but being so into this community and having so many conversations with people about infertility, if my IVF works, I will be one of the lucky ones. I genuinely will be. And I think I'll feel nothing but gratitude and almost like there's a blip in the system, like good things don't happen to me. But that's the thing is I'm not even this cynical, negative person. But just almost 2 years of infertility, it's like, no, it doesn't work out because I've had nothing but 20 times of negative tests and month after month.
And so even your brain is wired in a way where all you know is negative results. And
yeah, it's like almost like how can you rewire your brain to think that it actually could be positive?
Yeah, because even I noticed that a few days before we found out that the IUI didn't work. I was just like, I'm so excited. I feel like it could work. I'm really excited. And you couldn't even let yourself really imagine it. You wanted it, but you put these protective walls up so thick. And there's probably so many layers of trauma within that.
Yes, and it's so unintentional for me. Because I remember, I'm like, yeah, everything went perfect. Good vibes. I don't feel like I really complained. I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. You know, here we go. It's just up to my body. I'm going to sit back and whatever. But yeah, so I wasn't as devastated because the month before I was
Down.
Literally, I was convinced I was pregnant. I was shocked when I didn't see a positive. And so I think after that, it was like, don't ever let yourself get that high again because that fall is the worst. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm starting IVF and yeah.
How has your body been off of the IUI medication?
Oh, so much better since getting off of it. And now I'm just gearing up and ready for just this whole IVF journey.
So IVF, does it still feel like worst case scenario is here? I'm devastated. Or are you like, I'm more hopeful. We're on this next step. At least I have a next step. Let's go.
IVF, I'm feeling so happy about. It's such a positive thing in my life. The fact that we can afford it, even though it's so expensive. The fact that I'm a good candidate for it. All of the things. I had my IVF protocol meeting today. And we just went over all the medications and my schedule. And it's going to consume my life. Literally, there's a week that I'm going to the fertility doctor every single day. But I'm like, let's go. Let's freaking get these eggs popping. Let's get this baby in there. I'm just so excited, so ready. I just think it's like infertility as a trial. All the trials that you have in life, right? And infertility is this other trial that I have. And IVF makes it a level 10 trial versus a level 7 trial, you know? And so it feels so heavy. But this ramp up to IVF, I've had a lot of time to accept it. You know, and so now I'm just like, hate that it's gotten to this point, but get me out of this hellhole. Let's try IVF. If IVF doesn't work, let's try adoption. Let's try surrogacy, whatever options I have to try to get a family. I don't even care anymore, but I want to leave all the confusion and waiting in the past.
Totally. Because a few months ago when we were even talking about IVF, it was like, no, do you realize it feels like the kiss of death? The worst case scenario is here. And I think from that point to today, your outlook on it has really shifted, but in a sad way. It's almost like you were beaten down so hard for the last couple months where you're so weak and broken. You're like, sure, let's go. It's just sad, but also it's beautiful, the resilience in it and the strength and the armor you've built at the same time. It's like you're getting weaker and stronger simultaneously. Your body's breaking down, you're weak, but your soul, your resilience is getting stronger simultaneously.
It's so true. I feel like I'm skipping up the mountain, but at the same time I look to my left and I'm laying on the bathroom floor to shoot me up, inject me, like take everything I have, take all my money, do everything you need to do to get me a kid. It's like this weird simultaneous thing, and maybe that's relatable. I don't know, but all I know is I'm excited for a good chance. I think that's clinging on to. It's only 60% chance that it works, right? But that's better than the 10% chance of IUI or whatever.
I know. And even the doctor, when you were doing your IUI, was like, I'm not super hopeful. I think that they really try to manage your expectations. And I feel like IVF is more, okay, this is attainable.
Yeah.
And this is more hopeful. And so even just having that reassurance from a doctor, the percentage wise, that's exciting in itself.
Yeah. It's mixed emotions.
I'm so grateful that you're able to do this.
Yeah, I could.
But also just my mama heart. I'm like, no.
Yeah, so I'll call you in October once it's all over because it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I feel like this next little leg, you've been open, sharing, being very candid, vulnerable. I think the next few months, just focus on you, your body, and then if there's an update to share, you'll share. ...
Yeah, and I'll tell you in this chair that I'm pregnant.
Don't you dare. Just
you know what's sad
is
that was my plan all along. I was like, when I can get pregnant, I'm gonna make this special moment and tell Chelsea on the podcast. We'll have it documented. It'll be so fun for the pod. And then literally like, don't do that to me. I would cry. And I was like,
no, you can do it. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to do it on the podcast, do it on the podcast.
But what's so fun is if I'm like, okay, fine, then I'll do it on the podcast, and you would never know what episode.
I'm just so excited.
So guys, make sure you listen to every episode following this because I could tell you I'm pregnant. You'll never know what episode it is.
You have to.
Obviously, we'll announce to our listeners on the podcast when I'm pregnant.
I am visualizing that day, and I want it so bad.
But I want to know your thoughts on the whole manifesting thing because it's kind of been eating me alive.
Did you look up really quick the name of this girl TikTok about infertility scandal.
Oh, Lauren Bostic.
What do you think about this whole thing that she was basically like, I have a hot take. I'm able to get pregnant on the first time and I manifested my womb as healthy and safe. And if I wouldn't have done that, I know I wouldn't have gotten pregnant right away. Mm-hmm. And all these girls are so scared because there's this epidemic of people sharing about infertility and miscarriage. And I'm out here to tell you, don't be scared.
Basically, she's raising awareness to people who get pregnant right away. It's so funny because I also listened to this other Patreon. She's Cafe Binge. I don't know if you've listened to her. I really liked her stuff. She is really into the woo-woo stuff, but a lot of things that she said has truly helped me. But she basically was like, yeah, so I decided I want to have a baby and I made a deal with the universe. And I was like, listen, if you want me to have a baby, I'm making a deal with you. It's got to be easy or else I'm not doing it. And just knew at conception, the second that we had sex, that I was pregnant and the universe has my back. And I remember listening to that and I was like, unsubscribe from this Patreon. And I'm like, this is giving Cafe Binge in my mind because this is this other girl, Lauren Bostic, who does the Skinny Confidential, which I've listened to her podcast for years. She can be harsh on some things. She gets a lot of experts on her podcast, very health, fitness, all of the things. It's hard because there's probably some aspect to it where it's like, yeah, if you're just in this negative hole about bitching about infertility and saying I can never get pregnant, I'm infertile, I'm the victim, whatever, maybe there's some truth to that. My purpose for sharing on the internet is to bring positivity and light to it. By me being vulnerable might help someone else feel seen and heard, which I think is a positive thing. I don't think there's this epidemic of people just gaslighting themselves into infertility. And I've seen so many people post videos in response to hers and being like, okay, well, explain the male factor infertility or explain this or explain that. Tell that to my fucking ovaries. I just feel like it's really insensitive. And there are people like that in life that just bad things don't happen to. And I'm just like, you have no freaking clue what it's like.
I know. And here's my thing. When I heard that, I'm like, do you not know, or is there not anyone close in your life that you love that is suffering with this? Because clearly you don't. Just listening to that, I'm like, do you not know anyone that is going through infertility or has had really hard times? Because even me, as someone that was able to get pregnant quickly, seeing my best friend go through this, I feel so sensitive to infertility now. I didn't know so much about it, and I'm not even the one experiencing it, but now even hearing that TikTok, I was like, I can relate to being able to get pregnant right away. And it's so insensitive what you're saying right now. Because if she were to say that to you, like my best friend going through that, I would want to punch her in the face. Because you've done nothing but manifest. You've been doing nothing but being positive. I feel like these people suffering with infertility are way more mindful, way more strong than someone that gets pregnant right away. And so it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting because initially she made that statement in one of her podcasts, basically just saying, I believe if you want to get pregnant, you can manifest it. Mm-hmm. And then that clip that's shown of her being like, there's an epidemic of people caring about miscarriage, that's her response to the hate she got for that. So it's like she's doubling down on it. It wasn't even just a one-off comment that she made that was maybe a little insensitive. She's just like, no, you guys are bitching and moaning about infertility, and it's not that hard. And so I have zero tolerance for that. But it's also the same thing if she were to say that about depression, where it's like, get off your ass, get to work, get out in the sunshine, and you'll be a happy person and you can cure your depression. It's all in your mind. You got to manifest. And it's like, no, then you clearly never dealt with depression because it's nothing that you can do to fix it. Of course, things help. And of course, people with infertility, there's lifestyle changes or things that you can do to hopefully help your odds, but everything can work perfectly and it doesn't work out.
Literally, you last month with IUI. Yeah. Everything was perfect.
Yeah. And I don't know if a lot of other people relate to this. We've talked about this recently. I feel bad when my IUI doesn't work. I'm texting you and I'm like, I don't want to tell Hayden because I feel like I'm letting him down. I feel like I'm letting my body down. Is there something I could be doing differently? There's so many contradicting opinions. And I feel like people who are going through infertility, I'm super hard on myself because there's all of these things. Am I making the right decision? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? People say, oh, I got pregnant because I fasted every single day. And then people are like, no, don't fast because that's so bad for your hormones, or quit dairy, quit gluten. And my doctor's like, no, you don't have a sensitivity to gluten. And no, you need dairy for reproductive health. And there's so many different things where I'm always in my head. Am I doing the right things? Am I being positive enough? Am I being relaxed enough? Everyone's like, just relax and you'll get pregnant. I know my neighbor's friend got pregnant because she went on vacation in Mexico and she had a couple margaritas and then bam, she's pregnant. And I'm like, oh, margaritas in Mexico. I didn't think of that. Thank you for letting me know. Anyways, long story short, I feel like I get in my head, even as I'm talking, where I'm like, don't believe good things can happen for you and stuff. It's like, girl, you got to manifest that shit in order for it to work out.
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's some truth to that? Where do you fall with manifesting and putting positive vibes out into the universe and the actual reality of things working out, fertility or not?
Yeah, literally the secret or not.
Yeah.
But I think what you're describing, your infertility journey, it's a very harsh lesson that unfortunately transcends infertility into so many areas. And so as much as you're learning this now of there's so much information and it's so overwhelming and I feel so much guilt, all these things, you're building a muscle that's going to help you sadly and happy, like be a better mom and a better person, because even as a mother, it's the exact same thing where there's so much information. There's so many things. You should do this. Vaccinate, don't vaccinate. Homeschool, don't homeschool. This. Am I doing the right thing? The mom guilt, the shame, whatever. And I feel like you're learning that now, very triggered to your own body. But I think hopefully this will help you long term. The lessons you're learning now and how to be sensitive with yourself and give yourself a lot of grace, comfort, love, peace, strength is going to really be your best friend the rest of your life. Because there's always going to be the next thing of overwhelming. So it's hard because the manifesting aspect, it feels like this is in my control to get pregnant, or this is in my control to fix this reality. And I think maybe switching it to more mindset of feeling your feelings in the moment, but then ultimately, what did you tell me the other day? Like, I'm focusing more on intention and
purpose.
So what is my purpose of having to go through this infertility? And what's my intention of what do I want at the end of this? How do I want to get through this trial? How do I want to look at myself?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that purpose comes into play with your infertility?
Yeah, for sure. And I think managing the trial and getting through it and being proud of myself and proving my strengths, all the things, I have that locked in for the most part. It ebbs and flows, ups and downs. But it's more just like the mind F of the manifesting.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as relaxing. And we've talked about that with hormones and stuff where it's like manage your stress or just relax or don't think about it. And I'm like, I swear, I think I'm relaxing. Am I not relaxing? And then you start stressing about that, which maybe if I was talking to a doctor right now, they'd be like, see, you're probably stressing and you need to manage that better. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's just my personality where I can't tell if I'm doing something or not. Like, no, I believe in it and I picture it and I'm imagining that I'm having a baby and I can see myself holding my baby, but that image is also painful for me right now. So then I shove it to the back corner, but does that mean I'm not manifesting enough?
You know? And I think maybe the manifestation right now is causing the mind F for you, because it's like, I'm not manifesting and I can't manifest that I'm going to get pregnant right now. But
Yeah.
I think you can confidently say at this point, you're going to be a mom no matter what. It might not look the way that you think it's going to look. And it already isn't how you thought it would be. But even just having Allie and Lauren and different people that have become mothers in other ways, I feel like that's given you this reassurance of I will do whatever it takes to get my family here. And I think that key of manifestation where you can visualize a family and the steps to get there might not be, you can't manifest those steps where it's like, okay, now IVF is going to work. Okay, now this is going to work. That maybe won't work, but having the family will eventually be there. So maybe manifesting the end result can help you along the stone path.
I like where you were going with the mindset thing, because manifesting, it feels like trying to believe in something you don't really believe in type thing. And that's not that I'm going to have a family, but that this IUI is going to work, or that the IVF is going to work on the first transfer. Whatever these details are going to work. I don't have 100% belief in it, because it's not 100% and I don't know that yet. But I can have 100% belief that I will have some type of family some way someday. I maybe can't manifest those things, but I can control my mindset and have a positive mindset no matter the result or no matter what happens. I can control my mindset. I can't control the end result, but I can control my mindset throughout, and that can be positive. And I feel like my mindset has been good for the most part, with hard days, of course.
Totally. It is hard because it just goes back to that whole just therapy terminology of what can you control, what can't you control. And I think ultimately, if we all really locked into that, we would all live a better life. I know I would. I'm so 10 steps ahead. I'm spiraling of all the things I can't control. And it feels very like eye of the storm, though. When you're in it, there's nothing to anchor to. I can't anchor to anything I can control right now because I'm in this storm.
That's so true. Do you feel like that is a coping mechanism? Jumping 10 steps ahead and analyzing, okay, what does this look like? What does this mean for this? What about in 10 years this? And what about this? Do you feel like that's your mind trying to process and cope with something?
Yeah, I feel like that's how my anxiety works, is I'm just so far ahead.
Where it's like, let's imagine every possible scenario to wrap our head around this before it comes so that we can be prepared.
Yeah. And then you're so wrapped up in the destination point of all the things you can't control that there's no, let's be present. This is hard. This sucks. What can I control in this moment? How can I react? And I personally am having a backslide in my mental health journey and anxiety and stuff lately. And I feel like such a fraud some days, where I've come so far and then there's days where you get swallowed up and realizing this might be the monster that's always with me. And sometimes it overtakes me. And I thought I was stronger than this. I thought I was gone. And I'm at a point right now where it feels hopeless a little bit.
Why does it feel hopeless? Why did you decide to choose that word?
Because it's like you've been working out for so long and you have this huge 6-pack and you're just like, I'm ripped and I'm amazing and you feel so strong. And then you don't realize, if you're not consistently doing those things, you think, oh no, I have this hot body, I don't have to manage it and maintain it. Then in a month, you're like, oh crap, I have a little flab again. And that's kind of how I feel about my mental health. I felt so secure and so amazing and I'm good. And then I'm not doing those like daily practices of what can I control? Let's be present. Let's have a positive self-talk. It really is almost like an addiction. It's not an addiction, but it feels like you have to constantly be battling against it and really reset your mind and ground yourself. And I just haven't been doing that. And now it feels very daunting.
It's almost like anxiety is a fixation too, like picking at your face or something. It feels so good to pick at it, but then you know the repercussions of it. So then you have the steps to keep your skin clear or whatever. But picking at it feels so much better in the moment than, okay, what can I control? What am I feeling? What am I hearing? In the moment, you're like, no, sometimes I just want to dwell on this and let this eat me alive.
Yeah, and fester. And it just feels harder to get up and ground yourself. But I just went to my normal GP. We were talking about things and I was like, oh yeah, sometimes I get panic attacks, whatever, but my anxiety's been really good. And she's like, I'm gonna refer you to a psychiatrist, so you just have one on file. I want you to establish care. And I go to the psychiatrist appointment and it was basically this 2-hour appointment. And she's like, tell me all about your life. And she's having to lay things out chronological. This is my experience with medicine. This is my experience with anxiety. These are kind of my life circumstances. At the end of that, she's like, it sounds like you're dealing with a lot. And basically, she didn't say it like this, but it was, I think that you're struggling more than you're realizing. Even just your mental health form that you're checking out, you're definitely very overwhelmed and stressed and anxious. And if I were to see you and see this, I would recommend medication. And for me, that just felt like such a slap in the face, getting off of all these meds, being on meds for so long. And it's like, I'm right back to where I started, where this professional is telling me I would suggest medication if I didn't know your history with medicine. Obviously, I'm not going to prescribe you anything if that's not what you want, but this is kind of unmanageable. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, where do I go from there? And so she's like, well, let me refer you to the psychologist in our practice and she can help you with temporary things like talk therapy. And it just felt very defeating. Yeah. And then from that point, I think I have been very stressed, very overwhelmed. What do I do when people are like, manage your stress? It's like, okay, cool. My life is still my life, and I have to get up and take care of 3 kids, and I have responsibilities and tasks I have to accomplish during the day. I can't just be like, cool, I'm going to go neglect my children. It kind of kicked me into starting to have periods every 2 weeks, the last 8 weeks.
Miserable.
And I never have periods in general. My period's very regular my whole life. I've had a period once a year, and then twice a year, and then maybe a couple months in a row, and then not for 8 months my whole life. And so I've never had this where it's like every 2 weeks. My body, I'm stressed and it's reacting.
Do you feel like that stress has changed recently? Is there something that's triggering it all?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a lot of family stuff, maybe stuff with my dad a little bit, repressing a lot, and then having a lot of things in my face, but still like, okay, I'm trying to set boundaries with you. And then other family members are now starting to have relationships with my dad again. So then it's like, crap, now do I have to manage my boundaries with my mom or my siblings now that they're back in my dad's life, and how does that look for me? And so I think that's happened a few months ago, and that kind of triggered. And then obviously 3 kids, and then with the podcast, that's my passion right now, but it is a lot of time and energy. I think the combination of all of that, I was at a very different place a year ago when my dad was still in prison, and I didn't really have to deal with harsh, these are my boundaries or whatever. The boundaries were set in place, and I was getting off all my medications, and I was feeling really strong and good and proud of myself. And right now it feels very bottom of the pit. Now you got to climb out. And I think my hormones are clearly all over the place. Like I'm PMSing every week. Brandon's looking at me wrong, and I'm like, how could you look at me that way? And he's like, whoa. And I can tell I'm overreacting, and I can tell I'm being extra emotional. But then now I'm going to a new doctor, and she's doing blood work, and then it's like, oh, all of your labs are effed, and you're pre-diabetic, and you're this, and your levels here are showing high indications of stress. Are you stressed? I'm like, yes, I'm stressed, and you telling me I'm pre-diabetic is stressing me out. So basically I have no answers to my health, and I don't want to do anything, and so then I'm doom scrolling in my pantry at night. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get a snack, and then I'm sitting in my pantry doom scrolling for an hour because I'm just like, well,
I need the alone time. But I feel like you need to give yourself some grace. Being off medications and then having these challenges come at you, and then you just completely raw dogging it through these challenges without medication is a feat in its own, where it's not just like, oh no, I'm back to square one where I started. I'm so weak. I'm so whatever. It's like, no, you got down to baseline. You got off those medications, which was a feat in itself. But then now you're met with challenges and things that are going to test that. But once you make it out, that strength will be even stronger because you're doing it. You've been feeling this way for a while now, and you're doing it. You're seeing the doctors, you're doing the things, you're taking care of your kids, you're doing the podcast. Everything is surviving, everything's going, but you don't want it to be at the expense of yourself, because I do feel like you're spread very thin right now. And so maybe it's just thinking, is there anything I can delegate? Is there anything I can take off my plate and change? But sometimes that answer is no. So maybe that's just managing your expectations, giving yourself grace while with your kids.
Yeah. And it's summer right now, and I've been so excited about summer.
Yeah.
I love my boys all being home. I love being together. I love their little personalities right now. I love their ages they're at. And that's where I'm at my happiest, when I'm being so present with them. And so there's moments where I'm blissfully happy, and I'm really trying to pinpoint when that is, and when we're all together and we're really just doing nothing. And I'm trying to cling on to those moments. But right now I need to go back to remembering those tools and trying to ground myself. And there's other things that are happening right now in my family and health stuff that I'm just trying to deal with as well. And maybe next week I'll feel totally different and we'll have a different conversation. But today I'm just feeling very raw and emotional and defeated, where this is so much.
One thing you have to remember too is growth and healing is not linear. It is not just one straight path forward. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have setbacks and things that you feel like you're a million miles ahead. So in those setbacks, you just have to give yourself grace. I've been thinking about this a lot too. Any challenges. If my best friend was having this challenge, what would I say to her? And give myself that advice, or talk to myself like that, or give myself that validation or whatever. And I think putting that back on, if I was coming to you with this, what advice would you give yourself? What would you say about these health challenges or the family stuff or the stress that you're having? How would you help me comb through that stress? Because that's what's hard, is talking you through that. I don't know so much about your day-to-day life or what's actually really stressing you out. It's more like a self-evaluation and then going from there.
I know. I think my self-talk is so negative right now because it's like, okay, cool, your body sucks and you're emotional and you just snapped at Brandon when he's doing nothing and you're the worst mom or you're the worst daughter or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm so harsh on myself. And would I ever say that to my friend if she was going through what I was going through? No, but it's just so hard in those moments. I feel so guilty for having mental illness stuff. I feel so weak. It's so hard because I would never say that to anyone that would come to me with their mental health stuff, but I feel like such a failure. It's like, get it together, be fine. Like, yeah, la 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 la, you're feeling anxious, get over it.
And that just makes it worse. In those moments, you need to give yourself grace and remind yourself that everything's going to be okay, but look at it from a higher level or a different perspective. If this was your kid, if this was your friend, if this was Brandon saying this to himself, what would you say to him? No, you can't control this. And you're doing an amazing job.
What I really want to work on this summer is becoming best friends with myself. I think right now I don't love my own company lately. I'm just so in my head. It's so dark in there lately, and I think I'm numbing out. And that's a very familiar pattern in my past that I go to. And it's just like reminding and becoming friends with myself again.
I love that. I think you should do that. And I think you should be really intentional about it. Taking yourself on a date once a week or make a bucket list or something of getting to know yourself or love yourself this summer.
Yeah, I think in these moments, I tend to search for outside validation very intensely. I just want all my friends to show up. I want everyone to be like, oh my gosh, you're going through this. I love you. I'm so sorry. I want people to be like, you're so cool. You're so funny. I want to invite you over. I just want so much validation in these moments. And I'm realizing I need to give myself validation, but it's very hard for me.
Why do you feel like it's so hard? Like when you go to give yourself validation, are you just like, you piece of shit, you don't deserve this?
No, I think it's just when you're having a hard day and no one's reaching out, it's like, how dare you not reach out or whatever it is. Or it's almost like you want someone to fix it.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with that feeling.
And I just want you to take this away and be here for me and show up and know exactly what to say and know how to do this. And I think I don't have a lot of close people in my life right now. I have you, I have Brandon. I don't have a strong and some
support
of my
system.
Yeah, and some of my relationships are kind of being tested right now too. And my family members are a lot of are my safe places right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm like scrambling. And
where do I go? Who do I go to? Who can I confide in? Who do I trust? Who's going to make me feel better?
And then when they're not, or that fails, or my expectations aren't met, then it's like, okay, no one loves you. No one cares about you. You are a piece of crap. See? Look around. No one's there. And then it's just
that's the itty bitty shitty committee. That's not true. It's not.
I know. And so in those moments, I need to be like, hey, you know what? Have those conversations with myself and be like, hey, no, you are doing these things. And what can you control? And what do you have?
It's crazy because it all comes back. It's all the same. Every trial, no matter what you look at, whatever hard thing you're going through, the antidotes are the same. It's a treatment plan. It's the same where it's like, give yourself grace. What can you control?
What are you grateful for?
Positive mindset. Like you tell me, it all comes back to gratitude. But also one advice I would give to you, and this is something I've learned, because if I wasn't sharing what I'm going through, no one knows. Everyone's busy with their life. No one understands what your day-to-day is. If there's stuff that you're going through, be vulnerable, be open with your friends if you go to dinner with them, or if you're talking to them, or just find people that you can text. It's hard. I should give myself this advice. Because really, you're the only person I feel like I could text and be like, today's hard. Without them prompting me.
But also, there's times in my life where I go to people that I feel like are safe and I'm like, I'm having a hard time. And crickets.
Yeah, that's
and then worst. It's like, I'm devastated right now.
But then, that's not a safe place to confide in. And you go and you confide in someone else, because maybe it's someone that you wouldn't expect.
I know. I was thinking this the other day. I was like, I need to branch out and like make new friends, but it's like, okay, cool. I need to make soulmates right now. I don't have energy and time to really nurture these relationships, to feel comfortable, to really share all my deep trauma. But then also I'm looking inwards and I'm like, why are you trying to search so hard for external validation right now? You need
That
to.
is so true. We're cracking open a whole case for you, because that is something that you have been reaching for and wanting, but your intention behind it is when you're feeling that lack.
Yes.
And so you're like, I need this validation. I need to feel accepted. I need to feel loved. But is it really more randoms that you want in your life? Or is it that like, acceptance and love that you can give yourself?
Yes. Me and Brandon were literally having this conversation the other day. He's my therapist. He's so good at listening to me figure out my own problems, but he's an amazing sounding board. I love when
And like take you down the path that you need to go to find your own conclusion.
Yes, so patient and gives a little bit of discovery, and then I figure it out myself. But we were having this conversation the other day where I was like, clearly my issue is I am searching for someone else to validate me. Like, you're worthy, you're amazing, you're strong, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're a good mother. I want so desperately for someone to tell me that. And why do I not feel that way about myself? I need to do that first, because then it's not on someone to give me that self-worth. And then once I can do that, then the confidence comes and the friendships follow and the light that you're giving. It's hard in those moments to give yourself that when you're not feeling that that's true. So that's something I'm going to work on.
I'm actually loving this, and I'm going to check in with you on this because I'm actually very excited. I think this will be huge for you. Just developing that and having that type of summer where you're like, oh my gosh, I went on this hike by myself and I did this and at this moment of clarity with this, and I really do feel like I love myself now. You will have a lot of breakthroughs. And even if that's going up to your happy place and journaling, but really prioritizing those things.
I think for me too, it's hard because this time last year, I felt so strong, so confident in myself, so capable, and so soft on myself and friends with myself.
But you just listed how many things have changed since last year, and you're in such a different spot. You've received devastating news. You're setting boundaries. You have so much more on your plate physically for work and mom and all of these things. You can't compare that version of Chelsea to now.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I need to remind myself that I used to do this thing where I would really pinpoint a feeling and then just have a conversation in my head, what I would tell myself. And it was a grounding technique. And I feel like that's what I need to do is, okay, today I'm feeling this, or this is overwhelming me, and really just be my own sounding board in that moment. And I know I've been at the point, the more you do it, the easier it becomes, where it's like second nature. And oh, this problem, you lock into being present. What can I control? It gets easier. But when you get out of shape with it, it feels like I'm never going to get that body back.
It's like your first day back to the gym postpartum or something.
Exactly.
You have to remember you took away that crutch that you had, and now you're just pushing through on this strength. And like I've said, have to give yourself grace and just be patient, because anyone can get through anything. It's crazy how much humans can get through. The most devastating, awful, horrible things like people live through, and then live to see the sunshine again and live to see a happy day. So if you literally just take it day by day, you'll get through anything.
I know. I'm so glad we were able to hash out a little bit, and hopefully in a couple weeks I'll have a different update for you and be like, I love myself. Life is great.
I know. That's kind of what I want to do now, following up on episodes in future, just our random episodes where we're just chatting and stuff. I'm like, let's have check-ins. I'm curious to see where this goes, or how you're feeling about it, or how you say you're in this pit that you have to crawl yourself out of, how you crawl yourself out of that.
Yep. And you guys can be in it real time with me. And if you guys have any advice, see, I'm looking for validation. You know what? Don't say a word. Don't say a word to me.
Hey, they can give you advice.
You know what you should do,
Just
though?
don't say anything nice.
Yeah, but you know what you should do?
Leave us a review.
Follow us on wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yep.
Rate and review would be amazing.
Yep. And I'm actually really excited for your summer. The summer of, what do we want to call it? I'm not in hot girl summer. I'm in IVF girl summer.
Okay.
And I'm going to really just lean in and love it. But you're in
Become friends with myself summer. No, that sounds lame.
It's a catchier tag.
I know. Can we workshop?
Yeah. Something like bestie, something.
Yeah, YOLO, because it's like hot girl adjacent, where I do also want a hot girl summer, but I also just want a baseline. Get out of the pit summer.
Yeah.
Figure out why I'm having periods every 2 weeks summer.
But I feel like mental health and all that aside, all this shit you got going on in your brain, it's going to be a really good summer for you.
Yeah, it is.
Think about it. You are going to have a hot girl summer. You look the best you've ever have. And your kids are at the funnest ages. They're going to have the funnest summer. They're in so many activities. You're going to have so much family time. Utah is beautiful. Summers are amazing. You love the 4th of July. That's coming up.
I know, and I just love my family. During all of this, there's been the weekends, and we have our Saturday or Sunday, and I'm so happy in this moment.
Yeah.
I could just live forever in this moment.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to have a lot of those this summer.
I know. I'm at this point where the week is hell, and then the weekend is a mini recharge. But it's almost like I'm not thinking about all the crap. It's a little avoidant.
Which is good. Honestly, just avoid that like the plague.
And I'm like,
don't even think about it.
Dodge. But then it's like, oh, cool. I'm sticking a tampon up again.
See, that's the thing. The physical part is hard to get around.
Yeah. And my kids are always like, oh, Mom, do you use these again? And I'm just like, can we just...
I know, right? Okay, I know. Mommy knows.
Mommy knows. Funny thing. Lennox, when he was little, he used to call my tampons tampon rangers. He would take a new tampon, guys, a new tampon. He would open them, and then he would take the cotton out, and then he would just use the applicator and snap it open and line them all up, and he called them tampon rangers. And then he'd like activate and open them until they clicked, and he would have them all lined up, and he called them tampon rangers.
Oh my gosh. An expensive
Boys.
toy.
Okay, guys, we will talk to you next week.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.